Hey guys, welcome back to another Microsoft Office how-to video inside of Excel. So we're back at the super slick chapstick data file, and I wanted to go over how to make charts and how to manipulate those charts using your pivot table data. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my pivot table, and I'm going to make this data a little bit more manageable. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the sum of the total sales, but instead of using the store number or the tracking number, I'm going to go ahead and use the product type. So inside of this pivot table now, we have all of our flavors of chapstick. We have the sum of the total sales, and I also want to go back in and I am going to go ahead and insert the grand totals for columns only. So now I get my grand total down here to populate the sum of the total sales for all of our products. So in here, what I'm going to do is I want to take a look at what kind of comparison we can make between all of our products. So in this case, I'm going to go back to my pivot table tools. I'm going to go to Analyze, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Pivot Chart. Pivot Chart's automatically going to go ahead and pick out the pivot table data, and it's going to bring up this dialog box, and it's going to show me a couple of different options. So here we have a bar graph that shows the sum of the total sales, and it shows us all of our products. If we go down through and we look at a pie chart, we can see what the sum of the total sales are, but to a user, this pie chart doesn't tell us much, right? For projects like this, we want to give whoever asked us for this report or asked us for this data, we want to make it very easy for them to read. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select the cluster column or bar graph. I'm going to go ahead and click that one. I'm going to hit OK. And it brought in our pivot table chart. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. So now we have a comparison of what products are doing the best, what products are doing the worst, and which ones kind of meet us in the middle. Say we wanted to change this data that's inside of this pivot table chart. Well, once it communicates with this pivot table, right? So what we can do is, say we want to look at it by customer. Our pivot table chart automatically brought in all of our customers, and it decided to put it on the axis below, and it shows us which customer is doing the most sales, and clearly it's Lowe's. So say we wanted to do it by tracking number. So tracking number obviously went into the values again, but if we put it on the axis again, remember our data, I manipulated this so it would populate smaller to larger. So clearly we're seeing a bunch of tracking numbers, and obviously the pivot table is not going to pick that up. But I'm going to go back to our product type, and I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. So really quick and easy way to have your two pivot tables talk to each other, or a pivot table talk to a chart, and in that way you're able to clearly define the pieces of data that someone may ask you for, especially if they're asking for the product or if they're asking for which customer is doing the best. And in this time frame, I don't have time frame specific necessarily defined in here, but it would be very easy for you to add that in. And possibly in another video, I'll go ahead and go over how we could add a time aspect to this and maybe add some months. And then we can kind of move along from there. But again, I want to just reiterate, whenever you're building pivot tables and you're building pivot charts, always remember that pivot tables are such a great tool to be able to tell a story quickly and also incorporate a chart to go along with it. And it's very easy to add that in with your pivot table tools, and just go ahead and have that pivot chart communicate with your pivot table that you've recently created. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, if you see something that you may have a question on, or if you want to ask a specific question in the videos you've seen previously on this channel, please feel free to put a comment below, like, subscribe, and share with someone that may find this useful. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you at the next one.